Hello guys and welcome back to Tetra Football, and today we are doing our Matchday predictions reaction video. I'm joined by Joe, Thomas, and I believe Joe, you were pretty spot on this week with the first game. You both getting it correct with it being Aston Villa versus Everton 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. We both bagged the 3 points for that one in our off-screen league. Actually, no, I don't know. Is it on camera?
No.
Anyway, 2-1, and it was 2-1. So
I mean,
we're pretty chuffed.
Do you see much of the game?
Yeah, I watched the entire thing.
Onana, I mean, seemed like a good player.
Still quite young, I believe.
There was an injury, wasn't there? Doucouré got injured.
Another big injury for
after
Everton.
His poor positioning, which led to the Ings' goal.
I think Everton kind of changed their defence from last season, really, with I think Cody played and
well, towards the end,
Tarkowski, I think.
Yeah, Tarkowski.
Well,
toward the end, they were fighting back though. Everton, after they got the goal, I would like to say Ali was an impact player, but I really don't think he was. There's no goal by Digne, and 2-1 could have been 2-2. But
I went for 2-0, didn't I? And I mean
to
Everton. No, Everton, Aston Villa. I just saw Villa getting 2 goals, but I just didn't really see Everton getting a goal, and they didn't really look likely until they did get that goal, and then they were pushing for an equaliser, but I just think the Villa defence was just too strong for them and held them out. So the next game of the weekend was Arsenal versus Leicester, and it's goals galore. 4-2.
6-goal thriller, 4-2 to the Arsenal. It was.
I think Saliba
we all got the result right. We all said for an Arsenal win.
Yeah, an Arsenal win.
But none of us got 4-2.
No, I mean, I don't think many people in the world would have got that result. I mean, quite unnatural for Arsenal to get 4 goals and Leicester to get 2. Tom, you went for 3-0. Do you want to explain your reasoning?
I elaborate on that, really. I just think that Arsenal, I think their squad's improved a lot, especially with Jesus and Martinelli. I think they're very good players and going to improve this season, as we've already seen with Jesus at the Man City side. It wasn't that. You can't really see too much of him because in the Pep Roulette. But I think Saliba made a mistake causing a goal to
young player that could really affect him.
And you also went 3-0,
right? Yes, I also went for 3-0 to Arsenal. I mean, I did really expect Arsenal to get goals with Jesus coming in, Martinelli partnering up with his Brazilian teammate. And I think that Leicester didn't really look threatening for me. Well, no, they didn't look like they were going to be threatening. I mean, Maddison looking likely to leave to Newcastle.
Tielemans as well.
Tielemans to Arsenal. I mean, Vardy could leave as well. It's just, if you're a Leicester fan...
it's going from bad to worse, really.
Yeah, you're getting quite scared inside.
The idea of them finishing 15th doesn't seem so alien now.
I mean, Schmeichel
has already departed as well,
gone.
I
think even Fofana's been linked.
Fofana's been linked to Chelsea for a ridiculous fee. 95 million, you might as well play.
It just sounds like the same.
It's literally like paying 95 million for Jeffrey Schlapp. There's no point.
I mean,
it sounds like the Harry Maguire situation all again.
I think that Leicester are just... I mean, you know, they did win the Premier League a few years back, but they're going downhill, and they're going downhill fast.
They are,
letting so many key players leave. I mean, just it's beggars belief what's going on inside that dressing room right now. But moving on.
Hang on, I haven't said my prediction yet. You've been blabbing on for 5 minutes. You don't let me talk. I went for 2-1 to Arsenal. I went 2-1 to Arsenal, and it ended 4-2 to Arsenal. I was the only one to back Leicester to score. But 2-1 it was.
Yourself.
2-1 it wasn't, sorry. That was my prediction. I was going to talk more, but then you distracted me.
Do I have to apologise now?
I think it highlighted Arsenal's good and bad, is what I was going to say. It highlighted the good of their attack and the incredibleness of Jesus, but the fact they conceded 2 goals kind of points out to me that defence is very weak.
It's maybe an issue they need to fix,
I would
really.
not, as an Arsenal fan, trust Ramsdale one bit. He's a very off and on keeper, and I don't think that he's cut out for a big team like that. But having said that, I guess the good outweighed the bad, and that's why they scored 4 goals, and that's why they won 4-2.
Now you've waffled on for a minute. Let's move on to Brighton and Hove Albion. Ended 0-0. You went to the game, didn't you, Tom?
I think the problem with Brighton is we do need a key striker, because I think Morpay's heading off to Nottingham Forest, and we've only got to rely on Welbeck and Ndab, and Ndab's not playing. Welbeck's very injury prone, so. But I think the best players for Brighton that game was Caicedo and who was it, Mittermeier, Japanese.
Didn't get to watch the game,
Yeah,
but I mean, Joe, you got this result correct,
I got
didn't
it bang on. I went for 0-0. There was scepticism when I said that in predictions. People saying
George.
that two very lively sides, you wouldn't expect a 0-0, but I think they're too lively for each other, really. And I said it in the prediction video. I'll say it again now, and that's why 0-0. My prediction came true.
I do have to respect that.
What was your?
I went for 2-0 to Brighton. I just thought they definitely did deserve goals, but Nick Pope was very strong in that game. But Brighton really, I don't know why they brought in a striker in Undav, but wouldn't play him. It just baffles me slightly to what Potter's focusing on. He doesn't seem to care much about the striker role in his system. But moving,
does, but maybe he doesn't have to back.
Yeah.
You can't move on when Tom hasn't given his prediction.
He did.
I think I said 2-1 for Brighton for that one, but I was wrong on that occasion really. But I mean, you talk about Undav. Maybe Potter didn't believe he's as good as a striker because he was in the Belgium league, and you don't know how. It's a lot different to the Premier League.
Yeah,
really.
but then again,
True, but anyone's better than Morpay.
Give him a chance.
Morpay has been playing.
Exactly.
No,
like,
he's been playing well,
give him a go.
So anyway,
City, Bournemouth, 4-0. I got that one right. Bang on the money, as they say. And you know, I did expect Haaland to show up, but only 8 touches in the whole game. I mean, you sign a player like Haaland, and you expect a side of Bournemouth. You expect him to get a goal or 2, but 8 touches.
Especially when you win 4-0, you'd expect him to get his name on score sheet at least once.
What do you think of his performance, Tom?
I mean, I think he had quite a poor performance, really. Haaland, he didn't even score. I mean, in the previous game, he scored 2 goals. I mean, for Man City, I think the good player was Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's a very spicy, very good player, really. And I thought the Bournemouth squad was going to score, but I don't think Dominic Solanke really has what it takes in the Premier League.
You went for 4-1, right?
Yeah, that's what I went with.
Yeah, so I was the only one who didn't go for a Man City win, which I'm regretting now, as you can probably imagine. That's 2-2, because I thought Bournemouth, after their little win against Villa, 2-0.
Little win.
A bit patronising, wasn't it?
Bit excellent.
But yeah, especially coming off the bat, beating a team 2-0 and then beat Everton 2-1. But anyway, what am I talking about? I said that they would draw against City 2-2, but they instead received the thumping, which I think many expected. Bit of a risk, and it didn't pay off.
I do have to respect your willingness to go out on a limb and predict a Bournemouth result, but it just didn't pay off this time. But speaking of results that didn't pay off, for me, I thought that Southampton Leeds would end up 2-1 to Leeds, but it ended up 2-2. I was quite disappointed because I felt Leeds dominated the game. They led for 2-1 for a decent period of time, but then Southampton got a goal back, and I was quite disappointed because I knew my prediction was on the line. I was like, Leeds, they should have done a bit more to preserve that lead, and then Southampton were really piling on the pressure, but I think could have done more.
I predicted 2-0 for Leeds, but I was wrong. But I think Ariba had a good performance because I thought they might struggle a little bit without Broja because he had a very good season with Southampton on loan. But Leeds, I think Aronson had a good performance, American, under the Jesse March project. And what do you think about that game, Joe?
Well, I got a point for the draw. I said it could be a draw. It was 2-2. I went for 3-3. To be honest, when Leeds went 2-0 up, I thought actually there's probably not much chance in Southampton fighting back here. But they soon did, and it ended 2-2. When it drew to 2-2, I was thinking maybe one more goal for each side and it could come true, this 6-goal prediction, but it didn't. 2-2. Couldn't.
Imagine 6-goal thriller.
I'm happy with the 2-2. That's that.
Do I have to say, the next game was quite underwhelming.
The Wolves.
The Wolves, Fulham, 0-0. I mean, 2 foreign sides. on the equal playing ability for me. I think Mitrovic missed a penalty. Should have done better.
Probably highlight the game.
Saved. I mean, I expected him to get 3 goals and 3-0 Fulham. I was expecting goals from Fulham because Cody's left quite one of their main players, their captain. They're quite a long-lasting player for Wolves. Quite a key element has gone, but they proved to hold up to a 0-0 draw. But Joe, what do you have to say about this result?
I went for 1-1, so I got the result right. And back to Mitrovic to score. I knew that it'd be a draw really, but I think both teams it's a bit of an underwhelming result because Fulham, of course, came off the back of that 2 apiece kind of affair with Liverpool, and then again Wolves. They're probably thinking to themselves, okay, this is Fulham. It's a team which we can beat. We know we're going to beat. After losing to Leeds, they're probably a little bit demotivated, but then you'd expect them to fight back, and they just didn't. 0-0.
I mean, I predicted 2-0 to Wolves on this game, but I think the Bruno Lage project isn't hitting the ground running at the moment. I just think he needs maybe a few more signings in, maybe, because
everyone's got a bloody project, haven't they?
I think they need a new centre back because, as you said, everyone lost Cody. They haven't got any money from it because it's a loan. I think that's a problem. I mean, for Fulham, they had an excellent game against Liverpool, but this game wasn't amazing either.
Didn't live up to the bill.
I think some of the players need to gel together, like Paulinho and Mbabu. So,
all right,
I'll let you introduce this next result because if I speak, I am in big trouble.
4-0 Brentford. Don't think anyone predicted that one right. We all went for a Manchester United win, didn't we? You went 1-0, I went 2-0, he went 3-0.
Yeah.
Because he said Brentford, they're not going to win, are they? That's what he said. He scoffed at the idea of Brentford winning. And then
famous last words,
they didn't only match his prediction of United winning, they actually beat it. They went for 4-0.
The hair.
In 35 minutes.
What was he doing, the keeper?
It was an awful.
I just do have to say,
mistake.
Ten Hag, he sees Brentford quite a tall side, quite a good side in the box to score set pieces. I mean, he names one of the shortest sides of that Man United possibly can. He's put Martinez against Ben Mee. I'm sorry, but you don't have to be a genius to figure out you don't do that. It's common knowledge.
They are both defenders, so they're not going to be.
Yeah, but one's 5'6", isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not going to be.
And one's.
They're not going to be man marking
plus.
each other throughout the whole game when they're both defenders. They're going to be at the opposite end of the pitch. You probably wasn't.
When it's a corner, it's a slight problem because they can just easily get ahead into the goal.
Yeah. That
happened in the end.
Talking about Ben Mee, I think he had quite a good performance. And,
nice goal.
I mean, even though he's from Burnley, I still think he's a good player.
What's wrong with that?
He's from Burnley.
Yeah, but most people don't
deal breaker.
Most people don't rate the Burnley team that much, so they don't think he's as good of a player. But I think he is, and I think in the Brentford side, he might even shine.
Well, we do have to apologise for Tom's antics, cussing out Burnley. There's nothing wrong with them.
Sunday games next, isn't it?
Yes, the first one, Nottingham Forest winning 1-0 against West Ham. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
I don't think even the other two put.
I said 2-0 to West Ham on that one.
You went for 2-0. You went for 2-0 as well.
I went for 2-0. I mean, expected Antonio to score and maybe Schumacher. I mean, Schumacher did score, but it was offside, and I think they got very unlucky in the game, hitting the crossbar 3 times, having a penalty saved. I mean, Declan Rice could have done a bit better with the penalty.
I think he did have a goal, but the problem was Antonio. He kind of went in someone's way, so the goal didn't stand.
I thought it was offside.
This is probably my worst prediction of the weekend. A criminally underrated Nottingham Forest number 4-0 to West Ham.
That is a bit.
That's
bold.
We know that's of course wrong now. Anyway, let's move on to the big Sunday game. Chelsea-Tottenham. Ended 2-2. I went for 1-1. Kind of met in the middle. So it got the right result, but
I went with 2-1 on that game, and there was quite a few.
Tottenham.
There was a few scraps in that game between the two managers, Tuchel and Conte. And somebody grabbing Romero, wasn't it, pulling Cucurella's hair?
Yeah.
What is he doing? The referee needs to sort that out.
My prediction should have been correct with 2-1 to Chelsea.
But
it decided they are yes. let's actually have a donut instead of watching a VAR in the game. Oh yeah, he's pulled his hair. Oh, sorry, I'd rather tuck into my jam donut.
But that was very.
They were
too much Chelsea. I'm just gonna say.
I do have to say the referee was poor throughout for both sides, not just Chelsea.
I do apologise for what he said there because I think it's quite disgusting to actually say that that a result was wrong and that a certain team should have won and in favour. But I can see his point from a Chelsea perspective. I can see other points as well from Tottenham perspectives that hard done by. But
to be fair, it should have ended 1-0 Chelsea.
I don't think so. 1-1 I think was a fair because you might say yes.
There was various goals that should have counted really.
Yeah, many people would argue that Romero's incident should have been addressed, and many other people would be thinking Kulusevski's incident should have been addressed.
Yeah, but also your first goal with the tackle.
But what you can't, again, this is exactly what the referees were saying. You can't go 2.5.
It was hot. It was literally 30 seconds to a minute.
I think
before.
Anyway, talking about some of the players, I think Koulibaly had a good game. Sterling had a good game. I think Cucurella.
Did Sterling have a good game?
I think he had an alright game.
I wouldn't say Sterling had a good game.
I wouldn't look at that game and go Sterling.
But I think Koulibaly.
I think Koulibaly had a good game.
Koulibaly
and from a Spurs perspective, you'd probably say that the standout
not
player.
Really anyone.
The standout player was probably one of those midfielders, either Højbjerg or Bentancur. I would argue would be the best player.
Bentancur.
Højbjerg doesn't normally have a good game, but I think he did score a goal, so you've got to wait for that. You normally slate him, don't you?
Højbjerg, yeah, but I don't slate him at all. But
you wanted him off, didn't you?
When we were watching the game, I did say that he was, in need of replacement, which I think is fair to argue. And Son, we not enough to talk about Son. He was absolutely dire, wasn't he? In that game, did
he even play?
He did, but he didn't display anything. Again, the same against Southampton. I think he's going for a rough patch form, which really affects Tottenham in this early part of the season. But full credit to both teams. Chelsea for maintaining it all the way throughout with their wonderful play.
Respect to your team.
And a good comeback from Spurs as well. Both times to fight back. So 2-2 it was. And let's move on to the Monday game, which was another
Liverpool
bad clash.
Palace. No one expected Palace to really pull off a result, but 1-1 for them. I personally went for 3-0, expecting Núñez, Salah to turn up, but Núñez did turn up, but with the wrong attitude. Anderson played his cards very well. I do have to respect him. He knows what he's doing. He's taunted a player with a bad temper. He's just teasing him. And then Núñez reacts. And he knows what he's done. He's gone down very easily, obviously. But he's got him sent off. He's got his team, that point. But you do have to say...
behaviour, really.
Yeah, you do have to say Diaz was alright. Was not more than alright. He carried that Liverpool squad that night.
He was the main player in that game. Had a fantastic goal. I think Crystal Palace made the Liverpool side look like championship players, really.
They did, yeah. They were
played around the park.
The dominant team, yeah. Crystal Palace in the end.
Not towards the end of the game because they were obviously fighting for a while.
But they were not displaying the fact that they were not favourite. They didn't display the fact they were underdogs going into the game. They kind of fought, and they scored that first goal through Zaha. I don't think anyone expected that result. You went for
3-0,
3-1, and you went for...
Expected a goal for Palace at least for you.
3-0, was it?
No, Tom went for 2-0.
Oh, sorry, you're always making little mistakes.
I do have to just ask you guys, what do you actually think is wrong with Liverpool? Drawing their first two games.
Liverpool and Man United right now, we're going through...
I think they're playing next
all-time lows.
So
they're playing each other next Monday.
That's going to be an interesting game.
That'll be a feisty one. I think Liverpool probably will win.
You would back Liverpool considering United's poor form, but if United can identify the problems of that loss, the G-Tech Community Stadium the other day, they can identify those problems and move on from that, and actually, if Ten Hag plays the right people, i.e. Van der Beek and Varane, these people we know should be playing. Put some faith
in them as well.
Put some faith in them, yeah, like say, and they could improve. But then again, as goes Liverpool, I think Klopp has got a lot to learn since the departure of Mane. He's probably thinking to himself, actually, I do need to understand how Núñez plays and the rest of the team and work on that.
I just think that Man United Liverpool game will be very key in both their seasons. I mean, Ten Hag, I think he does need to let Ronaldo go, not for the United team, for Ronaldo, because he does not deserve to be trapped in that team, and it's just unfair. And he's bringing down the team morale, I believe.
I think Man United's not always about the manager, because they've been through so many managers recently, really. Like, you've had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even Manu, like, what are you going to do,
and
really?
then there's Liverpool, like you say, who are just, what's going on for them? What do you think?
I just don't think there's any real reason apart from poor mentality. I mean, when you've got James Milner, a 37-year-old topping your pre-season run, it's not really ideal, is it?
Then again, you've got to have a reason behind that poor mentality. Like that poor attitude and poor mentality.
I mean,
there is a reason behind that, and that problem has got to be
we'll have to
sourced.
We have to talk more thoroughly about how to fix Liverpool in a future video, and that was our Matchday 2 predictions, reactions to our predictions. I butchered that, but remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below any future video ideas, and
every little helps.
Yeah.
Correct.